I am so into me, but I can learn a thing or two from you. I can weather the storm all by myself, but I'm so glad I got a total crew.
All right, welcome back in, everybody, to another episode of A Thing or Two About Life. It's the Total Podcast, where a group of friends get together and we share our life experience, and hopefully we can teach you a thing or two about life. I am your host, Mario, and we are joined by my esteemed panelists and my friends, my fam, and we're going to get right into it. We're going to give everybody a chance to say, hey, what's up? Introduce himself, and we joined by a new person. We're gonna start with the new person. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, and how's everybody?
Very good. Can you introduce yourself to the people?
Leon, also known as Lee Jack.
All right, there you go.
Welcome, entertain, and let everybody know what's going on.
All right, welcome to the show, Mr. Leon. We appreciate you, Miss Dinetta. How you doing?
Sookie now. Welcome, everybody.
All
We're
right.
ready tonight.
All right. Big Mitch is in the house.
Big Mitch in the house. Let's play a game of cat and mouse. Boy, look at here.
All right. And we got Janine. Janine, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
That's her story. She's sticking to it, everybody. Miss Andrea, how you doing?
I am great tonight, you guys. Let's give them a good show. Welcome to Lee Jack, as he wants to be called. Welcome in. Sit back and enjoy the ride with us. And you know what? You sure right.
All right. And for all my feline furry friends, we have maybe or maybe not Marlena. How you doing?
Hey, Mario. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast evening, our feline friends. Meow, meow.
There it is. Okay. All right. So, Felicia, introduce yourself.
Oh, well. Hello, everyone. I'm Felicia. I'm that person that's going to be out there on the road with some road rage, telling all y'all people to get your lane.
Get your lane.
Hope you enjoy this, but I hope you enjoy the show tonight.
All right, we hope they do too. All right, so let's get it in. We got a lot of things to talk about, a lot of people, so we ain't gonna waste no time with no fillers and stuff. But real quick, one little filler. Go ahead and go to, if you got any question that you want to send to the show, go ahead and shoot it to a totalview22@gmail.com. That is a totalview22@gmail.com. Hey, we need y'all to go to anchor.fm. We need y'all to go to Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you choose to get your podcast. Take a listen. Let somebody else know. We got the YouTube channel. Just look us up, Thing or Two About Life. We need y'all to get to all those places and support. Thank you. All right. With that being said, we're going to get into our current event. And the current event is going to be in reference to down in Florida. There was a little girl who was taken off the bus by her school teacher, accused of stealing a cell phone. I think she's 9, right? 7. Okay, 7. And she was taken off by a teacher that accused her of stealing a cell phone. But the teacher has been accused of bullying this little girl in the past, and they saying, the family and the lawyer saying, that this was retribution for the little girl making accusations against the teacher that she's been bullying her. So the mama took her to the emergency room, and the emergency room corroborated the story, saying that they did see bruising on the girl. So police took a report and all of this, and they say that the school didn't even contact the parent. Said the kids from the school bus and her older brother got off the bus and told the parent. So now they got a lawsuit going against the teacher in the school district, and we just want to talk about this and say the injustice, and just to put one more caveat out there to say that they took the teacher's they redacted her image and her name from the police report, so we don't even know who this teacher is. So I'm gonna start with you, Andrea. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, for one, if it was a Black teacher, yes, her name would have been put out there. So why is this white teacher's name not put out there? But you know, in school districts, wherever, this is how they do us. They hide them, but bring us to the forefront, so everybody will know who we are and things like that. And was she wrong for whoever he or she, who she was truly wrong for snatching this little girl off this bus like that? You don't treat a child like that.
And lost in the story, and I forgot to say, is that no, it was never said that she actually took the cell phone.
Right.
No.
So
Yes, it did say that she was falsely accused.
Right.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was falsely accused, but I'm saying it became more about everything else, and nobody wants to say, okay, this was a messed up situation because the cell phone became a back burner thing, and supposedly this was the start of the whole thing. But
Yes.
the little girl did not take the cell phone, and this was a special needs kid as well.
That's what I was gonna say. I thought that this child was a special needs child. You know, having to have worked with special need kids and also worked in the school system, I think it's really a shame that we can't trust our children with the educators that are supposed to be taking care of them. There is no reason why all of those children and all of the witnesses would have lied on this teacher. And I'm just going to put it out there, and it may not be true, but because this teacher felt so free to do that with this child, that's probably not the first time she's done something like that.
That's a
Right.
That's a good point, Marlena. You're currently at ground zero when it comes to the kids and education. What's your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, I just want to say kudos to this mom, who, immediately took this child to the doctor, had her checked out, contacted lawyers, and just didn't go the retaliation route, so you're your child's biggest advocate. That's my thing. A parent is a child's biggest advocate. So, I am so happy that this mom is going above and beyond to make sure that this doesn't happen to her child or anybody else's child.
All right. Well said, Mitch.
Well, before I even say anything out of the way, I just want to say, boy, look at here. Think about this. If you got it don't even matter Black, white, Chinese, or indifferent. Think about this. Somebody put their hands on your child. It don't matter. Nobody should put their hands on the child. They should have called the child's parents. They could detain them off the bus or whatever, but the parents should have been called right away before this woman even touched this child. I don't know where people get off for accusing a child of something if they don't have proof. If the woman was going to do that, she should have called the principal and somebody else out there that would have been witnesses and other grown people in the administration office to see what really went on. Hearsay is something else, because hearsay would have got one of us fired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because just being the color skin we are would have got us fired. It didn't matter if we did it or didn't do it. And I agree totally with what y'all saying. If it had been a Black teacher who did that to a white student, their name, where they live, how old they are, and if they ever did anything else like this, would all be splattered all over the internet, all over the papers.
Yep. And also to put in here too, it's not like this is a beginning teacher. They say she's been a teacher in education for like 45 years.
45 years. My God.
So
yes.
That is a seasoned vet. It shouldn't be a situation that she hasn't seen or know how to handle at this point. Unless it's something to it. All right, Mr. Lee Jack, chime in on this.
First of all, like Mitch said, yeah, it's if it would have been one of us, yeah, we'd have been blasted, fired, and everything else. But like you said, by her being a 45-year veteran in the school, she knows procedures and chain of command she's supposed to follow.
Yes.
By her not following that procedure or chain of command, she's supposed to be immediately terminated.
Yes.
And then everything else would have been put out there, her name, what really happened, the story, all the witnesses, all that would have came out. But like you said, like everybody knows, if it was one of us, all that and then some would have happened. We've probably been arrested, headed to jail for child abuse.
I agree.
Yep.
But by being a woman of a Caucasian descent, nothing's being said, everything's being swept under the rug.
Yep. And the school district came out in her defense saying that, you know, that the teacher hasn't, and they said it was going to do an investigation, but for us, they know she's still on the job, and all they did was move the girl to another classroom.
Right. And like I say, if it had been one of us, we'd been reprimanded. We'd have been at home on suspension, waiting for an investigation to be done.
Without pay.
Without pay. And she's still getting paid at school doing what she's been doing all these 45 years. Probably at the same, the education system is so screwed up, she's probably not even trying to teach the kids. But
that's a real possibility.
Yeah. Because at 45 years, you pretty much set in your ways. You've been a tenure for 30 years now.
Yeah.
So it's really nothing they can say to you. The principal probably ain't been there but 2 or 3 years. Superintendent probably ain't been on the job for 4 or 5 years. So you got more experience than all of them.
Sound like there's a little frustration going on with that too. All these black kids coming in through our school and integrating our school. Sounds like a little frustration going on.
Right.
Yep. And the one point that I want to make, and then we'll turn over to Felicia, and then we'll finish this up, is that when you try to cover something up like this, something must be where they're saying that we've let this go on for so long. If we turn her over, I'm going to get fired. That person's going to get fired because somebody's going to say, why didn't you do something about this a long time ago? This maybe won't be her first allegation. When they won't just say, hey, look, she down there in room 215, go get her ass. When they won't do that, that means other people are afraid of losing their jobs too.
Right.
So, all right, Felicia, close us out on this. What's your thoughts?
I got a lot of thoughts on it. First of all, that's a Karen who's getting away with her Karen privileges. But let me tell you, I've been through some instances because my oldest is disabled. He's legally blind with cerebral palsy and a spastic quadriplegic. I had issues. I got the bus driver and the attendant fired, and I went and took their job. I don't play that. You're not going to mess with mine. I'm going to come into the school. I'm going to find my way to integrate myself in there, because that was wrong for them to do that to that little girl. She's disabled. There is a chain of command. There are things that's supposed to go a certain way. And also, because she got snatched off the bus, that school bus driver and that attendant was supposed to got involved too. So it's not just on the teacher. Everybody's job. Everybody did not do their job. Every last person did not do it correctly. Now, I'm glad the mother did take her to the hospital to get checked out, but a lot of parents don't have my energy. I'm going to integrate myself into school. Anytime my kids have had any problems in the school with any parent, any teacher, I'm there and I've solved the problem. I got a couple folks fired. I got a couple of folks reprimanded, and I just really didn't care. They knew Miss Moore was coming in that school.
All right.
Alicia, you hit the nail on the head with that, saying that the bus driver should have gotten involved. And I was just thinking that. And I'm like, what was the bus driver doing? If that had been me, if I had been that bus driver, I'm like, no, you don't get to do this to this child.
Because the child was on the bus. I was a school bus driver, and I became my son's school bus driver first off. When my son had his incident where they kept putting my son off the bus. When it comes to the disabled, you're supposed to hand that child, you put that child in someone's hand, and then they go on. Well, they kept putting my son on the curb and pulling off before I could come off my porch. Third time, oh no, I'm yelling at y'all. Bring y'all behinds back here, and I guarantee you that bus ain't leaving, and you ain't leaving. So they called and reported me, and I wound up having to go have a meeting at the school with the union, and I went off. Yeah, I'm the one that threatened them. You're darn right, because I know the procedure. So after we had that meeting, I said, and what's the company's address again? Because I need me another job. And I took myself up there and got that job, and I guarantee you nobody up there liked me. When I showed up and they found out what my name was, oh, that's that lady who she lived on such and such street. Ain't that the lady who threatened to whoop out? Yep, I sure did. I sure as hell did, because y'all need to do y'all job. Now I'm here to teach all of y'all, you're not gonna mess over the disabled, because a mama is here of this disabled. And they got their act together.
All right. Well, that's ultimately what it's all for. Hopefully that things are done right. So what we gonna do
done right.
is keep our eye on this story, and once we find out what has transpired, you know, as far as the lawsuit go, or will she be apprehended or anything like that, we'll give an update to that. So that is that particular segment. So what do we have next, Andrea?
Hey, Marlena.
Hey.
What's happening at school?
Oh my God. Well, this past week, we've been trying to teach the kids the middle sound of a letter of a word. So if we, and you know, we're trying to tap them out so they'll understand, like, can you hear me when I say, huh, ah, t, and they use their fingers, huh, ah, t, hot. So I'm running into a dilemma where I'm saying, okay, give me the middle sound of the word, but I get the beginning or the end, never the middle. So y'all know I am one with the spirit. And I'm like, God, please, what do I do? Because they're not getting it. He sends me Mike. So Mike comes and he says, I said, Mike, I said, you know, I need a little help. I said, my kids are not getting the middle sound of the word. And Mike goes, woohoo. And so I said, Mike, what do I do? He said, Marlena. He said, you know, kids learn better when you give them a song. You gotta let them sing it something so they'll remember and understand what you're talking about. I said, well, Mike, what to do? He said, I'm talking about the letter in the middle. I'm talking about the sound it makes. I'm talking about the letter in the middle. The letter in the middle, the sound it makes, that makes the word come together and be great. The word in the middle, the sound it makes, the sound in the middle. Oh yeah. So I did it. And guess what? They got that shit.
All right now.
I said, woohoo! Thank you, Mike.
And if you ever want Marlena to talk about what's going on in your school, you can always email us at atotalview22@gmail.com. Ms. Donnell, over to you. This week we are bringing you the total letter.
We do have a letter this week. Dear Total Crew, I love my nephew and nieces. Not that it has anything to do with my sexuality. I'm no creep, but my brother has messed it up for me possibly to have a relationship with them. I'm always wondering how or what can I do to establish a slight bond with them, being that I don't have any kids. It's true, one bad apple can spoil it for the rest of the genuine people.
Okay.
That particular letter, I got a couple of questions. First of all, it says it has nothing to do with my sexuality, which makes me think that maybe the writer is living an alternative lifestyle.
Ding.
That shouldn't have anything to do with their relation, with the, with this particular person's relationship with their family. And as we all know, families always don't get along, but we do have a blood kin. And sometimes we need to suck it up, make it right, make amends. And apparently they all don't live together. So you ain't got to live together, but at least try to get together.
That's true. Somebody once told me, a friend of mine said that when it comes to family, it's a reason God pick them for you, because some of them bastards you wouldn't choose.
That's true.
So,
Amen.
so, but now, even if it says about the sexuality thing, right? That person may not feel it has nothing to do with the sexuality, but if the brother is in the house and don't really agree with having that around the kids, now that could be a deterrent or be a block to keep he or her from going to be with their nieces and nephew, because they father do not under any circumstances want them around, because they think that they might impart that to them.
I understand.
So I mean, I can understand both ways. I mean, because if you on that tip in today's world, you kind of misguided, because they friends, YouTube, all the videos they watch, Instagram, that shit is everywhere. So if you think that they are influenced by your sister or your brother, I got news for you. When they out there at the bus stops every morning, when they talking to their friend, that shit is everywhere. They are being more influenced by them than anything your brother or sister could say.
Right.
That's true.
So I don't know.
I know I have someone who lives in my house right now. So he was watching, I don't know the cartoons nowadays, but it was some cartoon. And the cartoon, it's an old school cartoon, but it's still on. And on this cartoon, I guess the person turned into, I don't know if I can't even remember if it was a boy or a girl, but it turned into something other than what he was. So the father was upset and said, "What are you watching?" And the little boy told him what he was watching. He was like, "No, turn that off. You are not watching that. That's not how it used to be when I used to watch the cartoon." So yeah, probably it has to do with, his sexuality, because I mean, he told him to turn that off. He didn't want him to watch nothing that has to do with anything that's like gay, if that's what you want to say, or anything like that.
Wow.
The
Lee
only
Jack?
bad part about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just trying to get Lee Jack a chance to jump in there.
Yeah, cartoon. We don't really pay attention to cartoons like we used to. Even back in the day, cartoons were bad, but they weren't extremely bad. Because nowadays, like was said, cartoons do some wild stuff. And I watched a few of them with my daughter, and I'm like, okay, what are you watching and why are you watching that? So yeah, you have to kind of watch out for the cartoons. But as far as the other topic goes, I'm not, I mean, the family member lifestyle, it can be imparted on the kid, but like you said, Mario, they get most of that from outside in the outside world. Random school, people they see in school, even the TV shows that they watch. I mean, that's not going to
Hold on.
No, somebody gonna have to open them M&Ms later.
Sorry to interrupt you, Felicia.
Yes.
Go to mute.
I thought I was.
You know better.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the family member, as far as they preference or orientation, it's not going to be instilled on the kid at all. They still see the family member as a family member.
I agree.
So yeah, I mean, let the kid enjoy their family. You enjoy your family, even though you're not agreeing with their orientation. It's not you.
I agree.
All right, Miss Janine, since you agree, go ahead. Let's hear your thoughts on this.
No, I agree with you say. I don't think that it's really going to have any impact on the child himself, because I mean, you're going to talk to the child as, you know, you would a child. You're not going to go around and say, hey, you know, twist your arm up. You're just going to be normal with the child.
Mitch?
Most definitely.
Well, the L-O, HIJKLMNOP people. Boy, look at here. Those people got a lot of power. We got to pay attention to people when they're around our children, whether we think they're gay or not. Family, friends, pastors, coaches, you know, regardless of who they are, we got to treat everybody the same, but at the same time, we have to do more and watch out for our children, because we don't know what other people have on their mind. Nobody treats your children like you're going to treat your children. Family or whatnot, it doesn't matter. You know, I don't have anything against anybody, but I'm still going to pay attention to my children.
You can, yes, true enough, and I agree with you, don't disagree at all. But when you have a person that's wanting to be in their niece or nephew's lives, their sexuality shouldn't even be a question of that. It really should. It should. This is male or female, aunt or uncle. Every child needs to know where they came from.
Right.
They need to know their people, regardless to whether they're homosexuals, heterosexuals, lesbians, or regardless to what they are. Because they, like I said, they need to know where they come from. Right. That's why sometimes you do have people that, these kids out here, they run into a cousin or somebody 50 years, 10 years later or so, and then they end up getting married to who? Their cousin. Why? Because they didn't know that. Regardless of what a person's sexuality is, let them be a part of their life. And if you see that there is going to be some type of issue with it, then that's when you make that decision of, no, I'm sorry, I just don't want you around my children. Give them a chance first.
Okay, Marlena, how you feeling about this?
I got gay family members. We're family. That's how I feel about it. We're family. We come around each other. We spend time with each other. We embrace each other. You know, they're just family. What the sexuality is neither here nor there with me. It's not me. I don't care what your sexuality is. You know, I care who you are to me. I care who I am to you. And that's the bottom line with that. As long as you're not crossing any lines when it comes to our younger family members, you know, we're good.
Because I don't really think that the kids really pay attention to that. You know what I mean?
They don't.
They don't. Unless you give them a reason to know the difference, they don't know anything. They don't pay any attention to that. They don't care. They, like I said, they care who you are to them.
And when that boils down to it, though, you're being selfish because you're looking at it from your standpoint. And your, you know, you think about you're depriving your nieces and nephew or uncle or aunt, you know what I mean? And you don't never know what that person impact could be on your kid's life. The parents' impact is great, but sometimes family members are that person that your kids can go to and talk to when they feel like they can't talk to their mom and dad, because they always look at us as as the quote unquote enemy or the person they can't talk to. You wouldn't understand, Dad. You wouldn't understand, Mom.
Yeah,
But Uncle Terry understand. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes
yeah,
they could be that for that person. And for those people who
yes.
say that, oh, I don't fuck with gay people, I don't deal with nobody gay. You do. You just don't know it.
You just don't know it.
You don't know
do.
it.
You do. So you can't make that statement, especially in today's world and time. I ain't saying everybody's that way, but more
You don't
people
deal with nobody gay. You don't know. You don't even know the
yes, you
person that
do
you
not
work
know.
right beside. The person you work right beside can be gay. You don't know.
Yes, you do not know. So you can't say that. So if I was the person, I would ask, are you mad because I'm your brother or sister or gay? Or are you mad, or the fact that you don't like gays, period? We need to have a talk and get some clarity on this so I can understand what's going on, because it'll let me know how to deal with you going forward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Felicia, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, let me tell you from my personal experience. So I had a brother who was gay, and my mother would have a problem with me leaving my children with my gay brother. And I would ask her, why do you have a problem with it? She said, because you got a son and he's disabled and you don't want him to touch on him like that. I said, so you calling my brother a pedophile? She said, no, I'm calling him gay. I said, no, you calling him a pedophile because what you're saying
It's
has
a
nothing
difference.
to do with his sexuality. So I need you to get this straight. He's gay. He's not a pedophile. Just because he's around my son doesn't mean that he's going to do something to my son. I need you to understand that. And my brother that's my father's son, not my mother's son. And it got to the point of where, so my brother loved being around my mother, but my mother wouldn't show him how she really felt. But once she let me know how she really felt, I stopped letting my brother come around my mother because that's disrespectful. He will not talk about him behind his back and smile in his face. His sexuality is his sexuality. And you're not influencing anyone from your sexuality. If they're going to be gay, they're going to be gay. If they're going to be straight, they're going to be straight. If they're going to be bisexual, they're going to be bisexual. There ain't nothing you can do about it. If they want to screw a dog, there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Nothing. That's true.
But what is this misconception we got that everyone, once as men, we think somebody gay, we just automatically assume they want us or they want to go mess with boys. You know what I'm saying? We got this thing that as soon as you find out they gay, they must want to screw everything in their path.
That's a misconception of a misunderstanding of what gay really is. When you don't know what it is, where it came from, how they got to be that way, yeah, you just as confused and ignorant as all outdoors, and you need to be quiet.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Sorry, Diane couldn't be here to say that, but to wrap this up and to say what we truly think, and that person just need to open up their mind. They being in this day and age, they being really, really closed-minded, and you depriving your nieces and nephews of potentially having someone who could really, cause what if something happens to you? Because as parents, we don't ever think that, because we think we gonna live forever.
Right.
Who you need somebody that really truly care about your kids that could potentially, now you've taken one person off the list because they don't know them. You won't allow them to know them that could potentially look after your kids, and that's your blood.
Right.
Well, me, myself, I got a few gay family members. And my mother also did that to my female gay cousin, also wondering about me and my daughters. I'm like, you know what? I really could care less as to what you think. I'm going to be around my people. They're your people too, but I'm going to be around my people. I ain't studying.
I feel you on that. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of why we hear people.
Felicia and Mitch. We got about that?
You calling
Wait,
for me?
Felicia's
Wait.
part 2.
Oh, no, it was supposed to be Mitch just this time.
Oh, okay, well, go ahead. Hey, Mitch, we're gonna give you the flow.
All right. Today we're gonna talk about the Gulp Gulp 2000. I was trying to tell you about this, Mario, because I know.
I'm all ears.
Now you see this? It's got a little hole like a coochie hole. It's got settings. When you hit the button, it comes on. See the little red dot? And it's got like 10 settings. Watch this. I know y'all can see this. Watch this. Do y'all see that? It goes, look. If y'all can see that, it goes.
So you gotta put your hand in it. You gotta put your hand in, put your finger in it so we can get a little demonstration.
See that? It's going up and down on my finger and side to side on my finger.
Turn your background off.
Yeah, we can't see because your background.
How do I turn it off? More settings. How do I get to it? I can't.
While Mitch is figuring that out, if you have any questions, letters, anything that you just want to hear us talk about here at Total, just please email us at totalview22@gmail.com. We won't say what your name is if you don't want us to or anything like that. We'll always keep all your letters and everything anonymous. And we'll let you know when it airs.
All right. Here we go.
Anonymity.
Like I was saying, when you turn it on, it's got all these different features. If you can see from the side, you see it's going up and down. You see how it's gripping my finger? And it's going up and down and side to side. Now, I don't know about y'all, boy, but boy, look. You see that? Did you see that? Look. That's a different mode.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Boy, look at her. Look at that. Yeah.
And that's that stuff you be hollering too, huh?
Boy, it make you say, oh. Feels so good. Yeah, boy. Now,
While you gripping the sheets and nobody there but your toy.
it don't matter. So when you want to clean this thing, this comes off. And this comes off. Let's see. It's like a little cup. And you wash it out with sex toy soap. You don't use just regular soap. You use sex toy soap because it's made for these little rubber things. That way it won't mess it up and mess up the abrasions in it. You can see the bottom, it clips in. You have to turn it and clip in. And after you finish, turn it upside down, let it dry, and it's ready again for next time.
So that's a nut cup.
Yeah, and you have to use a water-based lubricant with this. Because if you use silicone, these silicone things right here will start coming out and it'll mess it up. Like I said, Mario, this one was like $79. And I swear,
what's the official name of it?
It's called a Suhimi.
A Suhimi?
Yeah, Sohimi. And it's got a little deal that you can put down and like a clamp to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And it screws onto the bottom. So it's hands-free.
So if somebody walk in on you, it'll look like you fucking the table.
Exactly. All you gotta do is stand there, Mario. All you gotta do is stand there, bro. You just stand there and just get close to it, and it's like it holds on to you. See?
You truly be D'Angelo.
Like a microphone.
Yeah.
Boy. Now we always talking about how people getting this and people getting that, and people don't think that men have sex toys. That's a damn lie. Any man that has ever played with himself, ever jerked off, we always talking about, because I know people don't think they do, but people talk about these things, about why they don't have sex toys like they have for women, for men. because the sex toys they have for men are mostly sorry ass shit. And then the ones they do have are so damn expensive that you don't even, it just turns you off from it. So you just got Mr. Palm and his 5 sisters. But this shit right here, it's one of them things that this shit right here, one of them things, like I say.
Wow.
Boy, look at that.
Damn, you got high with that. Your voice went high with that. So have you ever had what we call it a GG? So have you, and other people call it a pocket pussy. Have you ever had one of those?
Yeah, I've had one of those. I don't really like them because, you know, it's not realistic enough for me. That's why I don't like those. I'd rather have something that it's kind of exciting, that's more realistic than just moving it up and down yourself. Something that's warm, something, you know, that feels realistic. I think a man would rather have that.
So does that feel realistic?
Andrea, yes, ma'am, it does.
I mean, hey, I'm just asking.
Anything that's going up, down, and twisting, ain't that what women, ain't that how you give a blowjob? When you go up, down, twist, ain't that how you do it? Fellas, when you've gotten a blowjob, is that not how they do it?
Okay, who does it with the hand?
A lot of women grab you with their hand and go up, down, and twist.
But that's not a blow. Okay, never mind.
Well, I do it hands free, so I
Well,
can do all of that
okay.
hands free.
Okay, I'm just telling you how a lot of women do. A lot of women do hands free, but a lot of women don't know how to do it without using the hand.
What were you gonna say, Miss Donetta?
Nothing.
You sure?
And we're gonna say a damn thing.
Well, I have a question. So does that, you say because it's realistic, maybe because you like it warm or something. Now, does that piece have a little heat to it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I could have got the one that had that was more expensive, but before I go and buy something, I like to test out what they have, you know, the cheaper one first, before I go and spend $150 for the one that's got heat and the one that talks and do all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit! It talks.
Yeah.
Talk.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Uh-huh.
Lord Jesus.
I mean, are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, we get you.
Yeah.
but in speaking
Oh
on
my
the
goodness.
warm part, you don't have to have one that warms. They have lubricants that warm up. So
Sure
I mean,
does.
Yeah, that's true.
so yeah.
So, Lee J, have you have sex toys?
No, I don't.
No, I'm just asking.
No, I don't. But when I was married, I had a lot of sex toys with my wife, so we played with them a lot. So yeah.
Okay, well, that's what's up.
I ain't got no sex toys either. What you call that called? The sock it to me. What is it called?
It's called a suhimi.
Oh, a suhimi.
It's a
SOHIMI.
SOHIMI.
And
Mm-hmm.
where did you get that from? What did you buy at?
I bought it off of Amazon.
So there you have it. Amazon, you can get your sashimi.
So it's called a me.
Mitch say you can screw it, you know, you can hook it up to the table.
Sure can.
Just pray nobody don't walk in on you.
You can hook it up to your countertop, you know, and all you gotta do is get close to it, and it brings you up and back.
Not the countertop.
Yes, ma'am.
So give them the reminders of, again, Mitch, about the precaution when you're cleaning, not to use
regular soap. You use sex toy soap, or you will tear it up and you wasted your money. And you make sure you take it apart, because if you get the bottom part where the engine motor type stuff, it gets wet, it's no good anymore. You've already messed it up.
And
so you
there's
gotta
a
take the cup out.
I'm sorry. And there's a particular type of lubricant.
Water-based lubricants. No oil base, water base.
And then you said no silicone.
No silicone. That's right. That's oil base. Silicone is
Okay.
oil base.
Okay.
And you turn your nut cup upside down and let it air dry.
Yep. After you finish cleaning it out, you turn it upside down, let it air dry.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Well, there you go, man.
And what do you call it? The Gulp Gulp 2000?
I call it the Gulp Gulp 2000.
Oh,
Jesus
Lord.
Christ. And
He's
then
silly.
up 2000. Complete with a nut cup.
So if you have a man friend that you think may need that and they have everything else, that's something that you can buy.
On
And Mitch say
Amazon.
you can get it for
Amazon.
under $80.
Yep. Amazon.
Now go look for the Suhimi. Don't go on there looking for Gulp Gulp 2000.
Yep. Suhimi.
Oh my
Oh shit. So if you have any questions about the Suhimi Gulp Gulp 2000, email us at solarview22 at gmail.com, and I'll make sure Mitch responds to you.
I'll answer that.
And be
Lord.
prepared for those answers.
Yes. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram is coming. And so wherever
YouTube, yes. Check us out on all them places. You know, we
Oh
we
my
might have to get
God.
a meme with the Gulp Gulp 2000 on it. You know.
So Mitch, I do have a question. Does it come in different sizes for the penis?
You know, I don't think so. I didn't check on that, you know. I never thought about different sizes. Never thought about that. I never checked.
you just made that sure that they had your size.
Andrea, I don't have to worrying about if it's my size or not. You must got that one of your friends in mind when you say that type of stuff.
Hold on. Let me
Back to
scroll
the
back
size.
up here to you. Let
And
me
may I
scroll
just
up
add,
real quick.
this is part of the program that now we've gone totally to the left.
Where you
Yes.
at? I can't
It's
even find
that
your
time.
ass. I can't even
It's that
find you.
time.
Where
Going
you
to
at,
the
Mitch?
left field.
He
Oh,
lost
there
in the
you go.
sauce. He done
They
disappeared.
can't never get along.
He
Them
all the
two.
way at the end.
Yeah.
Them two never
So-
get along.
So, Mitch, in response to your question, he
Mhm.
don't have to worry about that, okay? He doesn't have to worry about
Well, okay.
that, okay?
You know what? Sometimes a man don't
Here we
want a
go.
home cooked meal. Sometimes he want a chicken pot pie. He ain't got
Might
time to
too.
sit there and play that game with you. And he just want to quick and be done.
Yep. Sometimes he just want a hot pocket.
Say it again. Mhm. Say it again.
That's okay. That's okay, because sometimes we as women just want that hot and ready.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. Everybody different. Everybody different.
Okay,
And
Mario.
we all feel like we at Burger King having it your way.
Exactly.
Hmm?
What did
Host
you
of
say?
the most.
What did you say?
We need to move on.
I said
Oh, okay.
host of the most.
Yeah. We, Gulp Gulp 2000 coming to a YouTube meme near you soon. Gulp Gulp.
Zucchini.
Bitch gonna have all these folks out there trying to order Gulp Gulp from him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
Lord.
hey,
have
you know where I go
mercy.
get them. You know where I go get them.
You know, don't say that because he might become the local distributor.
Mhm.
Oh,
Hey, I've
my
been thinking about doing
goodness.
that anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
my. Johnny Gill would say, my.
Mhm.
All right.
It
Tonight's
sure felt good
tonight's
tonight.
subject is going to be about submission. Andrea, what was the the question. Okay, the first question is, what does submission mean to each one of you? Miss Donetta, what is submission to you?
Submitting to a man is actually subjective. Doesn't mean that you totally submit your life under that man's regime, because that's not the way it is, but that you would agree with reasonableness, depending on what it is, whether it be physical, sexual, monetary. Submission is different for different people. What for me, when I was married, I was able to submit to my husband because I considered him my head. And even though we would make decisions together, the final decision actually was his. And most of the time I was able to agree with him because he had a good head on his shoulders about business. Now, when it came to the finances, he wasn't so good. When we first got married, he was like, I want to handle the bills. I was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. We went like 3 months, and I was getting all these notices and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going, okay, so why are we getting notices and I got to run and go pay for something so there's nothing to get cut off? And you're telling me that you paid these things. Well, I found out that he was paying on the bills. He wasn't paying the bill. So I said, well, let me make a suggestion to you and let me handle the money. And then, you can make the big decisions for the household. And he didn't want to relinquish it, but I said, at the rate that you're going, we're going to be sitting in the dark with no water. And that's not good for me. Because you're going to be sitting here by yourself. First of all, we'll probably be sitting outside because we ain't going to have a place to live. So after the 3 months, then I did take over the finances, and things were better. And he said, well, yeah, you are a lot better with the finances. Now, that's the way it was. Excuse me, with my parents. My daddy wasn't good with money, but my mother was. And there were a lot of decisions that my mom, and I learned from her. The decisions actually were her decisions, but she made him think that it was his idea. I used to do that with my husband as well. I would make a suggestion and I'll say, maybe we can do something. Well, think about that. And he would come up with, oh, babe, I thought about what we need to do. We need to do something. It's the same thing that I had he just parroted what I told him. And it was fine. We got along well with that, and people was like, yeah, man, you got your wife in check. It wasn't that, I'm a Southern girl, and I believe in when I cook, I fix his plate and pass and bring it to him. People thought that he demanded that from me. He did not, but I did it because I respected him as my husband, and I was in submission to him.
Okay. All right. What about you, Felicia? What's submission to you?
Well, submission comes naturally. The only way I'm going to submit, you got to earn it. I'm sorry. You got to earn it. Just because you're a man and I'm a woman, it doesn't mean I'm supposed to automatically submit. Submission is me compromising and giving you the lead and letting you lead, but you are not going to be controlling over me. And every decision that you make, it involves me. So you have to actually listen to me before you make that decision, because every decision, like I said, involves me, and you're not going to lead me to hell. So I don't have a problem with submitting if I'm submitting to us going somewhere good. It's something for our lives to progress better. But if we're stagnant, I'm not submitting. If you taking me to hell, I'm not submitting. And just because you're a man, I'm not submitting. I'm a very submissive woman. I want to say, Cal God, take me away. You make all the dang on decisions. I'll take care of home. But if you are not doing what you need to do on your end, then I can't do that part. I can't submit to the fuckery, the foolishness, and all that other little mess.
All right. Okay. All right, Janine.
I second that. You can skip me on that question because she took everything that I was going to say.
got kind of hostile at the end now.
Yes.
I second that.
I mean, once the word fuckery came out, we already knew.
Look at here, y'all know that a lot of men is on fuckery because they feel like, oh, well, I'm a man and you're a woman and you're supposed to just automatically submit. But that's not how it goes. Read the Bible, read the Quran, take it back some time and look at what the spiritual books say about it. It says nothing about, oh, I control you and you got to do what I say no matter what. That is not what it's all about. And those that think that that's what it's about, I think you need to go back and read some more.
Well.
You know, that's what's wrong today. You know, when men, we all know who we had one in our group at one point of a time, you know, they take the word submission the absolute wrong way. They act like we're supposed to jump out here and do every little thing that they say do. That is not submission.
That is not submission.
Okay, let's get Lee Jack in.
Wow, submission. Submission is it's been taken out of context by a lot of men and some women. But submission is a give take. It's a 50-50 balance between a man and a woman. You can't take all the time, you can't give all the time. Submission means that we have to come together as one, make a decision, and stand on that decision. Submission is not always going to be about the man being right. It's not always going to be about the woman being right. It's about two people being as one, making a tough decision in most cases and standing on it.
Yep.
I agree. There has to be a leader. Everybody can't lead. There has to be a leader, and that leader has to be able to live with the decision that they make.
Right.
But you also have to consult with all those that are involved before you make that decision, because all those that are involved are a part of that decision.
True.
See, my thoughts on this, that over the years, right, when people say the word submission, I think a lot of people have really got submission confused with obedience.
Yeah.
Those are two different things. Because any man that's in a relationship, or especially a marriage, if you chose this woman as the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with, allegedly, or you got to seek her counsel, or what the fuck is she there for?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
If you're looking for somebody to control, go get yourself a pet. And after so long, that you can't control that pet either.
Mario, finish your point.
Yes, finish your point.
Yeah, the point I was trying to make is that if you can't take up counsel with your wife and say, hey, look, this is what I'm thinking. And because let's face it, sometimes women brains and our brains work on different wavelengths. Sometimes they take away all the testosterone and the pride and look at things from a logical standpoint to keep us from doing stupid shit sometimes. Cause we think with our libido and stuff, you know what, fuck it, and sometimes fuck it don't always win the situation. You know what I'm saying? So if I can't come to her and she just, yeah, daddy, just, yep, you sound about right. Yeah, that sounds good. Do you really want that in your life? And if we're being completely honest, not every man is worth submitting to, because some men couldn't lead your ass out of wet paper bag.
Hello, say it.
You know what I'm saying? So we got friends that we be looking at. That's our boy. We love him. We care about him. But you going, woo, glad he don't run shit over here. So not every man is worth submitting to, just like not every woman is worth you submitting to. So I think if y'all gonna develop a bond and y'all sit down and have these discussions, and a lot of that come back to having real true discussions. If she feels she's the type of woman that can never ever see herself as being submissive, I'm talking about in the good way, not the obedient way. Then you got to make a hard decision and say, maybe I don't need this in my life. And the same as the man, if the man can't be reasonable and always just want to be dominant and then don't want to seek your counsel, then you got to say to yourself, maybe I don't need him in my life.
Right.
Yeah, you know that video that we watched, that man said that the man is supposed to be the disciplinarian in the relationship. Where does that come from? Why does the man have to be a disciplinarian? You don't need to discipline me,
Well,
and I don't need to discipline you.
The context he was speaking about it in when the man needs to be a disciplinarian, he was speaking for as in the children's life. If have offspring, children, child, or whatever, he wanted them to be the disciplinarian in that aspect. As far as being in a relationship with a man and a woman, or however the relationship goes, the disciplinarian, the male figure is usually going to be the protector or the provider, and the woman will be the caregiver and the nurturer.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to be. But this man I'm talking about said he's the disciplinarian of the relationship. He wasn't speaking. This man wasn't speaking on children.
Oh, okay.
But Lee Jack, don't you think the reason why we have so much problems today in relationships is because the man thinks that they are in charge of everything in the house, and that the woman doesn't have any say?
I really think that the reason why that we have so many problems with relationships nowadays is because men don't or haven't been raised the proper way.
Exactly.
Because when back in older days, a few years back, especially like when I was a kid, even though I wasn't in that situation, you came up with a mother and a father in the house.
Right.
I didn't come up with a mother and father in the house, but at the same time, when you come up with a mother and father in the house, you see that the mother and the father are submissive to each other. You see that the father has his
mute.
has his opinion or say, and then the mother, she has her opinion and say, and they come together and they work it out, and then whatever they work out or come up with, the father implements and the mother bags him 100%. But the way that most men are coming up now, they're coming up in a house where it's only a single parent, which is usually 9 times out of 10 a single mother.
Right.
And the mother is the only figure and the dominant figure. So what she says goes. So when the son comes out and he's seeing this woman who's the dominant figure, he wants to buck the system and become that dominant figure like his mother was, not understanding that, hey, you got to give 50-50 on this. If you want to be with a woman and you want to be in a happy relationship, hey, you got to bow down and listen to your woman and talk to her and find out what it is that y'all got together that y'all can move forward to make something better.
That makes sense.
All right, let's give Marlena them and Mitch a chance to jump in on it.
Yeah.
Ladies first.
Marlena?
I think submissiveness is one of the most amazing things. I think it's one of the most sexiest things in life. My favorite couple, my grandfather and my grandmother, who was so respectful and loving of each other. And even though it was back then, my grandmother did work outside of the home and she earned an income, and my grandfather as well. And they she had a voice, and he respected and listened to her, and they made decisions together. And my grandmother would even bring home her money and give it to my grandfather, and he would in turn take, would pay out all the bills. And I said to her, I said, don't you keep any money for yourself? And she says to me, honey, I don't worry about any money. She says, because I know that my husband's going to take care of everything, and he always gives back to me without me having to ask. And she said, and when you're old and you have a man, you should choose a man that you can give all your stuff to, and knowing that he's going to take care of you, and that you will be able to receive things that you want and need without having to ask.
Now, as you got older, did you find that to be true?
I didn't give my husband all of my money, but yes, my husband was a very good provider. My husband was a very good provider. I could have very well given him my money and allowed him to take care of everything, because I didn't have to worry about wanting for anything or him giving me anything, because I knew he would. But no, I didn't give him all my money, but I very well could have.
Okay. All right. Mitch?
Well, when we talk about being submissive, has a whole lot of different layers to it. I was sitting here listening to them talk about, this, that, and that, and this, but I want to bring something into play here. You shouldn't marry a person if you're not evenly yoked with them anyway. If you can't submit yourself to a person, you shouldn't be with them or married to them. We have this strange little thing about what submissive means. Submissive means, when you're gonna be with somebody, you with them. Whatever is whatever. But if you care enough to marry somebody, that means you trusting them with your life as a woman. See, our problem is, me and Felicia and Janine was having this conversation Saturday. Our problem is we settle for men who are not right, because all men are not meant to lead. All men are not leaders. How can you lead if you've never been led? If you've never been taught to lead, how can you lead? All you know is to follow. And that's the problem with most of our young men today. That's all they know how to do is follow. Because a real man knows he's the head. He knows that he has to do this, he has to do that, and he has to make sure it works out. Now, I know women work nowadays and everything, and it takes two to have a real, relationship with your finances and have this and have that what you want. But when our grandparents were in their days, that man worked, that woman usually stayed home and kept the house, and it was enough, because that's all they needed was just that man's income. Nowadays, we need two incomes. But that woman was submissive to that man, even though she knew he was running around doing this and that, because he did everything he was supposed to do, but he had a little extracurricular going on. He was doing this and that. But most of our grandparents, they stayed with these men, but those men took care of the family. My whole thing about being submissive, when I say yoked, you know how back in the days of the Bible, they had this little oxen, these two oxen, and they got that yoke around their neck. It was a big bull and a young bull. That big bull taught that young bull how to be a bull, how to plow, how to do this and that. That's what yoke means. See, the women we get have to be able to be led. A lot of women don't want to be led. Just like men, a lot of men don't want to lead.
We have to find people that are like us, yoked like us. If not, it's not going to work anyway. We sit here and cry, moan, and whine about how somebody's treating us, but that's what you picked. Before you get married to somebody, you always have these signs of what these people are doing before you marry to them. You've got these signs. You didn't have to do it. You chose to do it. Another thing, ladies, y'all talk about why the man got to lead. Hey, we didn't ask for this. Believe it or not, it's hard being a man. We didn't ask for this. When Eve ate the apple, Adam followed her. Look what happened. But God came back and he didn't call out for Eve. Who he called out for?
Yeah, called out
He
for
called
Adam.
out for Adam because
Yes, he
Adam
did.
was in control. Meaning, when a woman messes up, it's the man's fault, and he is supposed to get her straight. That's what that means. We have this total misconcept of being in charge. It's hard to be a man and be in charge because you have the responsibility. You bear the responsibility of your family. And when things go wrong, it's your fault as the man. That's it.
Okay. All right, I got you. Is Janine in or she out?
Janine was here. No, she's here.
Okay. Janine, would you like to answer?
You're on mute.
I was saying I put the little thumb thing up.
Oh. Okay. It's the little thumb thing means that she'd skip her, right?
Yeah.
Right. That need to pass.
Yeah. Okay. So, it, like Mitch said, it's a lot of different layers to this whole thing, right? And it's also depending on what's your view, how you were brought up, and all of those type of things. But if you don't find two people that's with, like he said, with like-minded goals, other than that, we all at some point been two ships passing in the night, because it never seemed like the right man could find that right woman to match up, and vice versa. You say there are no good men, there are no good women. How come good men never could seem to find the good women? You know what I mean? And vice versa. So it's all about, once you get into a relationship, are you willing to say that, you know what, he's good to me? Can I sacrifice a little of me to be in this relationship? Because in all honesty, he treat me good. Everything is taken care of. But y'all know, like I know, when it comes to finances and these days, unless you really, really got it like that, it's hard for a man to take care of everything by himself these days. Unless you know, I mean, I ain't saying it can't be done. Plenty of people making good money, but for the most part, you need all hands on deck these days. So, and we got this misconception a lot of people have put in women's head: if you make more, therefore you run shit. And that's the way a lot of women see that. Not every woman, but I'm just saying they a lot of women are quick to tell you, I don't need you because I make just as much money, I make more than you. But it ain't about the money. Do you believe that I can help lead us in the right direction to get us where we need to go? And if not, then okay, say that, then I can keep it moving.
Right.
So it just depends on what point of view you're looking at this thing from and what you want.
Right.
Now, let me ask you men this. Do y'all believe that in a relationship that the man is supposed to listen to the woman?
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Yes.
And he's supposed to compromise with her too.
He's supposed to do some compromising also?
That's right.
Yes.
Unless he knows.
It's not all just the woman does. It's not the woman that does all the compromising.
No.
It's both do compromising.
But he has the last say, Felicia.
Right. I get that. He's supposed to. He's supposed to.
He should compromise. Yes.
Supposed to listen to and talk to. That's how you get you're not a whole man. You're only half of a man. You have to get some input from your woman in order for you to be better at what you do. If not, you just a dummy. Walking
Exactly.
around in a circle.
Exactly.
And that's what I said earlier. If you can't seek counsel from your woman, you can't. Do you really need her?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
agree.
when
If you
you
can't seek counsel from your woman, no, you
yes,
don't need her.
when it has to be your way or the highway, that makes you unreasonable. And when you
Exactly.
unreasonable, it makes you make mistakes. And when you make mistakes, you jeopardize the whole household.
Exactly. And it's on you, Mario. It's
Yep.
on you
Yep.
as the man.
Yep. Because if something go wrong in this house, they ain't never ran to their mama and said what happened. They always, the buck stops right here.
That
No matter
dad.
what happened. She could be the one holding the fire that shot the house on fire, the match. They coming right here saying, why the house on fire? You don't see her with the damn candle? She did it. But they come here first.
Right.
That's right.
So now let's go back to, we don't start with Andrea. Andrea, why do you think that women are not so readily to commit to submitting to a man these days? Why do you think that is?
Because because men are men these days. They say and they act and they pretend to be men, but in actuality, of some of them, let me correct that, some of them, they're just not men. They're not like our great grandfathers were. They want to work. They'd rather sit up and play a video game and instead of getting up doing something to provide for your family. And so when you're in that position, being with a man that does that, that then makes the woman have to step into the man's role. And a woman is not going to submit to that.
Wow. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Miss Donetta. Why do you think that is?
Because at this day and age now, men are not stepping up to the plate, and it's not all the men that I'm putting the blame on. Women have gotten to the point where they are in corporate America now, and they're making a whole lot more money than some of the men are. Some of our men are.
That's true.
And because of that, they are the supervisors, they're the vice presidents, they're the CEOs, they're the CFOs. And so they are the boss of people. So when they get home, they're going to be the boss of everybody at the house too. You know, instead of relinquishing some of that responsibility to their mate, to their husband, they take on that responsibility. And then we have a lot of households that just have women. So when they find a man who could fit that bill to be their head, they don't want to submit because they don't want to give that. They don't want to give that control up.
Yeah, makes sense. Felicia.
Well, I think it's because a lot of men aren't properly raised in the correct manner. And a lot of people really don't know what their place is. If you don't know what your place is, then how will you know what to do? If you don't know your place, how do you know to lead? If you don't know your place, how do you know to submit? You won't know. You got to learn what your place is in life. Everyone's got a place, and you got to learn where you fit. And then you got to find that person that fits right along with you to be equally yoked.
Okay, I guess the word of the night is gonna be yoked.
Yep.
All right, Marlena, what's your take on this?
Don't mute, babe.
Meow, meow.
What's the question again?
The question is, why are women so reluctant to submit to a man today?
A lot of it may be because they don't feel respected by their men. And maybe their men aren't stepping up to the plate as they should. And maybe because, they're being mistreated by men. or they have been mistreated by men in the past to the point where they feel like, well, I'm not taking nobody's mess, and I'm not. They have this attitude of defense, So that may be some reasons why.
Okay. Janine, you still want out, or you want to take a gander at it? Is our thing still up? Okay.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay.
She's saying,
But she's talking.
Janine,
You're on mute.
you're on mute.
Sorry. I'm going to agree with most of what the women said on here today. And then I also, along with that, I think it's mostly the younger generation, they say, this is what I'm hearing, mostly that they're going to school rather, and they're going to get their degrees. And again, they're getting better jobs. And then these men, they aren't stepping up to the plate. So I feel like, why do I have to, submit to you if you're not going to step up to the plate and do what you're supposed to do, your end, go to your bargain, what you're supposed to do.
And that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say maybe more so than saying that it's a man's fault, it's a woman's fault. Maybe it's just a paradigm shift where people just feel like they just don't want to do it no more. Period. You know what I mean? Maybe it's nobody's fault. Maybe it's not the man or the woman's fault. People just feel like y'all said, I'm making this amount of money. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I just feel like why I got to deal with that. I mean, Mitch got a Gulp Gulp 2000. A lot of men feel like, well, I don't even want to, date, because I heard a man just say the other day that dating was a waste of his time. I got a friend who got a group now. Men, Andrew was talking about that. He got a podcast called the Alpha Male Diaries. And there's a group of men out there who feel that if they can't be the alpha male, period, that everything else is just a waste of time. They don't want to date. They don't want to date. They want to say, hey, look, this is what I bring to the table. What you bring to the table, as y'all like to say, are we evenly yoked? Okay, before we even attempt to date, I need to know what's what before we even go on a dinner, because I don't want to just be carelessly out here spending money on a person and time on a person that you ain't even on my level. So why are we here? So a lot of people feel that way. So maybe it's just a complete paradigm shift where women just feel like, why even subject yourself to that?
Do I need to go join that group? Woo, boy, I could stir
I was thinking the
up in
same
there.
thing. I think I need to go and join that group and see what's going on.
But let me ask y'all a question. Would you respect a man if he came to you and said, hey, look, I'm interested in you. I like you. We vibing. But hey, let's put out here on the table what I'm bringing to the table, what you bringing to the table. And we feel that this don't add up. Let's just cut ties right here. Would you respect a man if he came at you like that?
That's the way it should be in the first darn place, because that's what the conversation's for in the first place, to let a person know what you like, what you don't like, what you want, what you don't want, where you want to go, where you don't want to go. All of that's supposed to be happening in the very beginning. And sometimes, no, it don't happen in the very beginning, but within the first year of the relationship, you should know a whole lot of stuff as to what you don't want, and you should know where you want to go and where you don't want to go.
Well, they don't want to know all that in a year. They want to know on that first date.
They ain't gonna know all of that in the first date.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's a movement going on with a lot of men saying that, you know what? Let's see if we add up right here and now, because I don't want to waste time, take you out on 5 dates.
That just said that they don't will make me walk away.
Yes, they don't want to waste. They don't mind dating, but it has to be, like, as y'all like to say, dating with a purpose. If we don't line up right from the get-go, why waste 5 dates?
Yeah, true. I
can get with that. You know what? I can get with that. But don't come talking about we ain't dating, because you're going to date me. You're definitely going to date me.
They say they'll date you if all the other shit line up first.
I can get with that.
Okay.
I can get with that.
Because a lot of times we have problems because, like Mitch said, a lot of times we won't be even killed and we try to make it work when at the end of the day, you don't want to try to go up a hill with 50 pounds on your back and drag them too.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
I never have a problem with the women who got their own car, their own house, and demand at least that. I can't stand when people say she thinks she all that. No, she got that. You need to get that. It's nothing wrong with her asking for that
Mm-hmm.
if that's what she got. But you can't be
Yep.
talking about you got 5 kids living in your mama basement and talking about he gotta have a mansion, he gotta have it. You can't ask for stuff you don't possess.
Thank you.
That's true.
Boy, thank you.
That's true.
Ooh.
Come equally yoked, come equally matched, or push on.
Now there are cases where you know the guy who a CEO want to go mess with the girl who work on the fries at McDonald's. It happened, they made a whole movie about it, like Pretty Woman. The successful guy messed with the whore. It happens.
Mm. and how long did it last? And how long did it last? Because T.Pain fell in love with a stripper.
That's what I'm saying. It happens sometimes.
And it didn't last.
But so let's get Lee Jack opinion. Why do you think women are hesitant to be submissive to a man these days?
Well, these days, I think the women are hesitant to be submissive to a man because it goes back to what I was saying at first. Men today weren't raised the same way that just a person of my age was raised. Nowadays, the men, like somebody said, the men rather go play video games than go outside and do yard work or clean up around the house or do this and that because he thinks that that's what a woman's supposed to do. No, it goes back to being 50-50 on things. If you trying to be in a relationship, trying to be with somebody, you can get up and wash dishes, sweep the floor, clean up, or fold clothes, or wash. You can do all this stuff that a woman does and not be the lesser of the two. You still got a role to play.
Yep.
So
Yep.
women look at that and see men don't want to do anything, and they go back and think about, like somebody said, like my grandparents or my mother and father was. They did stuff like that together because they knew everybody had to pitch in, or else wasn't nothing gonna get done.
And nothing gonna get done. And that's a real
right.
motto I got. I believe in. Let's
That's
work
right.
together so we can get it done and get it on out the way.
So can I just tell you a little story?
Go ahead.
So, once upon a time, there was this guy, and he just claimed he does this and he does that, and he did construction, he did that. So he came over, and I said, while we're doing this, I don't want to take the big grill out, so I bought a little small grill. I said, well, can you put that little grill together so we don't have to take the big grill out, because I'm not going to make that much meat. So just put the little grill together, which I thought was easy because I had a small grill before and I put it together myself, but I just said, well, he could put that together while I'm doing whatever. So anyway, came to the time for him to put the grill together. He couldn't get the legs on. He couldn't get them the right way. And then he was like, I'm going to just use the big grill. I said, well, I don't feel like pulling that big grill out and cleaning it. No, I'll do it. I said, that's a lot of work. Just use the new grill. It's smaller. So he rather pull the big grill out and clean it and use it because he didn't know how to put the little one together. So I went out there. I put the little one together the next day, and I said, it was nothing. It was nothing. Why couldn't you put this together? I don't understand. So that just like turned me off to like, dang, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing because in the first place, I don't even like the way you stack the charcoal in the big grill, how you put it in there. And then you burnt the meat, dried it out, and I asked you to. So you don't know how to do nothing. That's a simple little thing,
Lord.
That man could have stacked that damn charcoal perfect. You were just turned off by how he wasn't doing that little damn grill. He could have did.
Right.
Ain't nothing he could have did right after that.
It was
There
over.
you go.
It was over with.
It was over with after that.
All right. So everybody had a chance to do that. And if they had, we gonna wrap up tonight, y'all. And anybody got any final thoughts about being submissive?
Well, we didn't ask Diane anything. She did. She came in.
Oh, see, I didn't know Diane was in because I got it on the big view. So welcome, Diane. First time listener, Longtime supporter?
I actually been here. You probably just didn't notice. But it's
I'm just messing with you, Diane.
no,
How
I'm
you-
talking about this today. I've been in. You just probably didn't know.
No, why nobody didn't let me know?
I messaged you. I did message you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Oh shit, you did. Yep. I see it. Diane, I see it. Okay,
Um,
Diane. So go ahead and give us your opinions on it.
As far as being submissive, I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
I think it's mutual. I think it's not just one-sided. The woman submitting, it's both. And I think it helps make the relationship a easy, road. Because not everything the man is gonna know, and not everything the woman is gonna know. So if you come together at the beginning and kind of decide what your role is, you can have a mutual respect, because I'll let somebody lead me, but they have to be the type that can do so. Everybody's not capable. So like several of you said, I'm not willing to stick around if I don't see that you do have leadership capability, because when I do get married, I want that. I want to give up some of my responsibility and allow a man to take over, because I'm tired. I've been single for a while. Come on, come lead me, but lead me in the right path.
Right.
And
No, that's real.
then you tell me the other day that you can't tell me nothing if you can't tell me something.
That's exactly what I'm saying. If you can tell me what to do, then tell me what to do. That's
Right.
saying if you can lead me, then lead me. But if you can't, then you can't. It ain't too much you can tell me, because it's gonna, I'm gonna always buck up, because I'm gonna think you're gonna, the relationship for me won't work.
Okay.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that.
All right, we at that
I
time,
totally
y'all.
agree.
We at that time to wrap things up. Sorry that I didn't know you was in, Miss Diane. We could have definitely got you in on some other stuff. Sorry about that. So let's wrap it up, do our goodbyes, and we'll get back at them next week. I'm gonna start with you, Big Mitch.
Well, I would like to thank everybody for showing up to this show, and all these fellas out here who listening to this. Think about what you're doing, and think about what you picking when you pick these women. And stop thinking that you can't clean and do things that you were taught to do as a young man to take care of yourself. Because women like to see a man who could take care of himself without them having to pick up behind them. And like I said, in my catchphrase, boy, look at here, take care of yourself and each other.
All right. What about you, Miss Marlena?
Thank you, viewers, so much for tuning in with us this evening. A big thanks to our podcast panel and our host, Mario. I love you guys. And I guess this is good night. Meow,
Yeah.
All right, let's give our welcome newcomer a chance to tell everybody goodbye. Mr. Lee Jack, the floor is yours.
And I just want to thank everybody for having me here. Thank for the invite. Enjoyed it. Hey, anytime I'm here. I'm not too busy. I love to have conversation with anybody.
All right, you will definitely have an open invitation to come back, Mr. Lee Jack. We really appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. Miss Andrea.
Really, Mario. But thank you.
Hey, if she could goddamn say me, y'all, I can sing too.
Just want to tell everybody good night. Always remember that you can email us at atotalview22@gmail.com. And I hope you learned a little thing or two about life tonight.
Are we forgetting something?
Are we? You got that part.
You supposed to say you sure right.
Oh, damn. I'm gonna get it together on that. But you know what? You're sure right.
You sure right. All right, there we go. All right, Miss Dinetta.
I want to thank everybody for coming and listening, and tell a friend. We want more people to listen to us as we continue. We're going to be in much prayer for Andrea so she can remember what she's supposed to say. And we will see you all next week. Sookie now.
Sookie now. All right, Janine.
Okay, I'm going to add a little more to mine, but I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. And the word is not DICK, it's penis. And I'm sticking to my story.
All right, she's sticking to her story. All right, Miss Diane, can you take us home, please? Well, no. Sorry, Miss Felicia, can you bring it on home for us?
Oh, well, see, since you seem to have forgot about me just so quickly, I'm gonna tell you, get your motherfucking lane and get it right.
Wow.
That was well warranted. I can't even complain about that.
Wow.
Can't even complain about that. All right,
But,
Diane,
I
you
am
had
gonna
an
tell the
honor
group,
to
though.
take us out tonight.
Just wanted to thank all the panelists as well as the listeners for coming out and supporting our new group of Total Thing or Two About Life. Can't wait to see you next time. I hate I didn't get to talk about Gulp Gulp, but it is what it is.
You know how to get
It
it
is what it is.
Oh, Gulp Gulp.
Oh, Gulp Gulp, huh?
You know how to get in touch with me. Talk about Gulp Gulp.
Oh my goodness.
All right, y'all. With that being said, we appreciate everybody. And remember, it's only stress if you let it be. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.